Welcome to County Portal, your simple source for local government services and public records. Let's get started.
Is a tax ID a public record? That's a common question, and the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It really depends on the type of tax ID and who it belongs to. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the most common tax ID for individuals, the Social Security Number, or SSN. Is your SSN public record? The answer is an absolute, definite no. Your SSN is considered highly sensitive, confidential information. It is protected by strict federal privacy laws to prevent identity theft and fraud. The IRS and the Social Security Administration do not make this information available to the public under any circumstances. So, if you're thinking of a personal tax ID, it is 100% private. Now, what about businesses? Businesses don't use SSNs, they use an Employer Identification Number, or EIN, which is also a tax ID issued by the IRS. Is an EIN public record? Here's where it gets more nuanced. For most for-profit businesses, like a standard LLC or corporation, the EIN is generally not considered public information by the IRS. The IRS does not have a public, searchable database where you can just type in a company's name and find its EIN. It's treated as confidential tax information. However, there is one very large and important exception: nonprofit organizations. For tax-exempt organizations, such as 501c3 charities, their EIN is absolutely public record. This is done intentionally for transparency and public accountability. Since these organizations get special tax treatment and often solicit donations from the public, the law requires their financial information to be open for inspection. Their annual tax return, called a Form 990, is a public document, and the organization's EIN is listed right on it. You can easily find the EIN for most nonprofits on websites like GuideStar or on their own websites. So, for a charity, the answer is yes. For a regular for-profit business, while the IRS keeps the EIN private, you might sometimes find it on other publicly filed documents, like certain business licenses or state registration forms, but it's not guaranteed and varies by state. People often confuse a state-issued registration number with a federal EIN. The state number is almost always public, but the federal EIN is usually not. So, to recap, your personal SSN is always private. A business EIN is also private, unless that business is a nonprofit organization, in which case it's public for transparency. I hope this clears up the confusion. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more simple explanations on important topics. We'll see you next time.